Good evening. She says I'm on. Good evening. Welcome to the Attitude Shift, the best place you can park your behind on a Wednesday night. I'm Donna Butler, and I'm glad to be here, parked, safe, out of the bad weather that we had in Louisiana for the past 2 days. Couldn't do the show. I'm missing a box, but they're doing something good. They're working. Missing a box, but not missing the wing woman, the co-driver, runs the board, keeps me looking good, tells me when I'm too close or need to go far back. Siobhan, Siobhan Shaw, the lady in red. Hey, darling, how are you tonight?
I'm pretty good,
I need to back up.
A new hairdo.
I like the ponytail over the shoulder, but let me back up one. Let's rewind for a minute. Okay, rewind. Welcome to the best place you can park it on a Wednesday night. Welcome to the Attitude Shift, sponsored by Little Crop Circles.
I love that, Little Crop Circles.
Little Crop Circles. I have to throw that in.
And our co-host that we didn't even know about is Ollie is in the house. She is wandering the house. Where I am, you can tell I'm not in my bedroom. I'm in my friend's house in her office area. And I'm looking out, and I can see a peekaboo of the lake, and she's got this great hedge and the green grass, and the door's open because the dogs will bark at birds and go running out. So I had to leave the door open. So if you hear like 3 dogs start barking and running, it's just us. It's just my life.
It's all good.
And our Holly, our family dog Holly is right here. She doesn't know what to do when she's in her buddy's house. But she's over here for the evening to hang out, and she'll tussle and carry on, and she loves it. She has a great attitude when she's here, and so do the other dogs. But they're all kind of mellow right now, so hopefully we get through the next 30 minutes without some kind of ruckus.
We've never had a show about this, so maybe we need to look into this. So if any of our listeners out there, pets with attitudes. Pets with attitudes. You just talked about the dog. They're having like a sleepover hangout, and they might start running and having a good time and everything. But really, pets with attitudes. I have a weird kitten. It's weird. It's a weird kid. Never mind. I might have the ASPC on me or something if I say sometimes what I want to do to this kitten. What I want to do to this kitten sometimes, but it's new in our family, and so it's kind of like skittish and crazy, but we should look into that. I think that would be a pretty cool show. Pets with attitudes.
They all have different attitudes. Like Luca, who is the dog that I talked about on my Facebook page that had cancer, went through chemo treatments. His lump, he had a big lump on his neck. It's pretty much gone. He's looking pretty good. He's lost a lot of weight, but that's okay because he's moving better because he had bad hips. And you can look back on my Facebook page and read all about him. He's the coolest dog. And then his buddy, his housemate, is Dash, and he's just a cutie, and he's just kicking back on the bed in the bedroom next door here. I think he's lying on some clothes that I put over for the week. That's great. But and then Holly,
but attitudes.
Holly is just kind of like shifting around, looking at everything. She's probably peed on the pee chair. Sorry, she probably has, right? And the thing is each one of them have very different attitudes. It's amazing.
So we definitely got to look into that. And I'm going to segue because I said something. Pets have attitudes and running around like animals. I'm going to take a shift. Since we're talking about people running around animals, I'm going to shift over to Baltimore, where what? People were running around acting like animals as they looted, as they burned police cars, as they threw rocks at police officers, all in the name of someone that was killed or injured or hurt. Right before coming on the air, I read somewhere where the police officers are now saying that he was thrashing himself about, I guess, inside of the van which severed his spine. Okay. Anyway, um, anyway, I saw, 2 nights of people just acting like animals. And I'm going to go into that little deeper mode that mostly everyone that I saw doing the looting, the burning of the cars, the dancing on the cars, and jumping on the cars and doing all that were black people. And people do the comparison today. I saw a lot of comparisons today. They were showing when college teams win, certain leagues or whatever, that the college kids go out in the street and burn cars and ruckus and riot and drink and doing that. And they say that's called celebration, not rioting. And what was the other night was rioting. And so I'm kind of playing devil's advocate because, I was wrong. It's wrong when you see that happen too, but I don't see where people loot when they have these in-street celebrations and they're doing all that. What I saw the other night was looting. What I saw the other night was a glass door get kicked in at a check cashing place, and nothing but black people pouring into these places and coming out carrying empty-handed, and then to turn around and maybe those dogs.
They're gonna riot.
Call on the dogs.
Call on the dogs.
But then to see that, and to see that all day, all evening, all evening. It was really annoying. It was really hard for me. Like I told you just a little while ago before we came on camera, that I went to pick up food at a restaurant, and that was on the television. And inside the restaurant, it was I was picking up Chinese food, and I was the only black person that was there picking up, and everyone was there. It was a rainy night, and so usually people want to get takeout, and it was on the news, and everyone was just like awkwardly quiet as I stood there. You can't miss me, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at it too, but I'm just as much, disgusted by it. But I just felt that the eyes were like on me, like, what do you have to say? And then finally the guy standing behind me, white guy behind me, and he did. He was like, it's just pretty disgusting, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, so this is just bad. And then he looked at me and he says, the cool thing, I want to paraphrase, but pretty much he said the cool thing about it is you can't judge a group of people just by their actions,
Well, absolutely. Look at a bunch of guys are called the Ku Klux Klan, and they're white guys with mostly blonde hair, probably. And I would never myself be identified with them. So, you've got to take a look at it's the culture, it's the criminal element that has gotten into these protests, and it is the people in the media and people that want media attention that are race baiting, basically.
I agree.
Say it differently. So, I just think that it could be a bunch of white guys at a Vancouver hockey game. We had a riot. Right. Vancouver, they burned things, and because they were celebrating.
Right.
But it's a riot is a riot when it comes to
exactly. That's the thing.
Hurt. That's not a celebration. That's like not hands up, baby, hands up. Right? Like.
No, you're right. No, right. And that's right.
Right.
But it just annoyed me. And it's been something that's annoyed me that, that they're making the comparisons. But like you said, a riot, is a riot. They may not have been burning police cars. They may not have been kicking in, the check mart or whatever. But they were still doing things that were destroying property. They were making it hard for people that wanted to walk the streets to come out on the street. And I just want it to be, in my lifetime, I probably won't ever see where it's fair. It probably will never be fair. This world will probably end with it still being, full of racists and full of people that don't have tolerance for people with different skin color, the way they talk or the way they, worship. I guess it's going to be like that till the end of time. But what's so sad is that all my life, and that's what I was saying, this isn't anything new. This isn't anything new. This isn't anything that, we haven't seen before. The thing is I get tired of seeing is that we just keep drumming it up in the media. Like you said, the commercials. I was watching MTV with my daughter yesterday, and they have a commercial coming on, and it shows like a black kid, and he's like going, what do you mean I'm not that kind of a black guy, And then they have a Asian girl, and she's making a comment. They're commenting what people usually say to them. Can I touch your hair? Those kind of things. And to me, those commercials aren't PSAs. Those aren't public service announcements to me. Those to me incite more. I know what people say about black people, or I hear what people say about white people, or, Punjabi, or whatever you want to say. I hear that. And that's been going on. So I don't need to be reminded that it's wrong. We all know it's wrong. We all know it's wrong. And so I'm starting to think that some of these PSAs, they don't do anything but, make you, not make you because you control yourself, but it's to more give off that uncomfortable feeling, that
I want to go to that you think to the end of time there will be this kind of racism, there'll be this kind of fear and loathing amongst people, right? I actually don't believe that, because I think that we can stop it. And here's how we can stop it, is each and every one of us, especially parents, because we're raising the next generation, we have to be very careful about what we say in front of our children and what we truly believe, right? So I was thinking about the mother that was just railing on her kid.
Right.
Young black teenager.
Yes.
Young mother. She didn't look very old to me. But anyway, she was out there because she'd seen her kid on television. And he had he was just like he was joining ISIS.
Exactly.
I mean, oh my God, right? So she got out on the street and she went looking for him. Okay, I think that's awesome that she went out, and I think every parent who was watching television, if you saw your kid, you should be out on the street looking for him.
That's right.
Because it was young black men. You probably didn't see. I didn't see the footage, so I'm just I'm guessing, but you guys can tell me if I'm totally wrong. It was probably a majority of young black men jumping on the cars and looting.
Yeah, yeah. And she saw,
There wasn't a lot of old, guys with like a little bit of gray hair at the temple.
No.
Right, or women carrying babies. Just not going to see that. And you wouldn't see that in any riot. White, black, green, yellow, pink, whatever color we are, right? So it's a youth culture. It's a youth event. And I think that the parents, it comes back to the parents, is know what your children are doing, know who they're associating with.
That's right.
Keep tabs on their computer time, right? Like find out what they're doing.
Yes.
Like you guys have family time, where you talk about probably issues like this, and you get information out to them so that they're not easily brainwashed or incited by people who want them to join the fear and loathing crowd, right? Because that's how the young kids get brought, sent over. They go over to Syria to fight with ISIS because they make it seem like it's really good. Right?
That's right. And I can imagine how that looked. That's it. That's the exact same thing. They made that look so good, and and they were all down there, like he said. And he finally spoke out today, and he said his friends. He knew his mother told him to come straight home. He said, but I wanted to be with my friends.
So his mother needs to find him new friends, and if that means you have to move to a new neighborhood, move to family, like, halfway across the country you don't even know, but that they're, in a better situation, ask them if you can do that. Like, get out of the situation you're in, or stop. And also the other thing is watch what you're saying in the house. Because you
I
might be
love that.
there and talking on television, talking to the television, right, without
That's
even
right.
realizing what you're saying. So then you're
That's perfect.
keeping that in, may not realize that maybe you're joking, or it is something. It is like one little thing in the way you were brought up, right? I mean, I still find that I use terms
I
that
do.
are today unacceptable. And I'll find
Yeah.
myself saying something like, "Oh, he Jewed me down." Now, I know that's
I
not,
know.
but
Exactly.
you know what? It wasn't in the 70s and 60s or 60s and 70s when I was growing up. And guess what? I heard that.
You heard it. Exactly.
I
And
heard that from authority figures in my life. So, of course, it's kind of part of my vocabulary, and
right.
sometimes it still comes out. Like that's just one example I can think of. I think
But I
everyone
love that.
probably think of one example where they still say something or use a
I'm
term.
sure. I'm absolutely sure. And I love how you pointed that out, because you know what? It does start in the home with what we're hearing, what we're seeing. And I can sit here, Siobhan, you just gave me like a flash of seeing something on television and making a comment and then going, oh. And that is during these riots. I used some words, derogatory terms. And I because I was mad and I was inflamed, and I totally was desensitized by the end of the night. It was just whatever was flying, left and right. And, and it's funny that I think about that now with what you said, is because thank goodness my kids had, gone to bed, and they don't sit there and wasn't, engaged in it like I was, because, they probably would have, especially my son, him being a young black kid, he probably, hearing some of the things I was saying about those young black kids, how would that have affected him to hear me,
Right.
using some of the terms that, that I was using, to that. So, yeah, we do need to watch. Maybe we should count to 10 sometimes, put ourselves on timeout.
It comes down to awareness, which you and I wrote about in our book, The Journey of the Soul Car, which you can download for free from our website, theattitudeshift.com. So make sure you do that. Check out, there's a whole chapter on awareness, because that is an attitude shift. Basically, if you don't have awareness, you're not going to shift nothing.
That's right.
It's not going to happen. But we're going to be talking about making it happen.
Yeah, let's go segue right into it. You talked about our book,
Yeah, we have been talking about making it happen in a sort of sense, because, as you said, I don't think, this will ever stop. I think we can, and I think we can make it happen. We just have to know what to do, and we have to be aware of it. And it comes even right down to the things that we say in the home, right? So why did we want to talk about making it happen, Donna Butler?
Because of the things we are making happen in our lives. It's so funny that, it's funny, but it's also kind of sad and bittersweet, because we've spent so many years on so many things, that we've been doing, and it comes down to looking at us both right now. And it's so cool. And maybe it was meant that tonight it's just, it's working. And so maybe it's good that it's just you and me right here, right now on this show, because it was you and I from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Here we both were in two different worlds, trying to get somewhere. And when we met each other, it was like I said, we merged into this one lane of something that we knew was a good thing. And we took it to where we would get frustrated, mad, in tears. It brought us to Vegas. It brought us to meeting each other in Washington. It's brought us, a sisterhood that's irreplaceable, and that's a cool thing. But when I look at it to where we are, this chapter right now, it has me learning about gardening. It has me looking at the tallest tree in the world. It has me talking to my daughters about marketing T-shirts. It's taken me from where I was even last year to where I am today. And like I said, I feel 100% driven, just as driven as I was for everything else. I'm driven more on these projects because I know where these projects came from in the beginning. I guess that's why I know the stories behind these projects. Like you said, the inventor. I won't go personally into a lot of his story, but you can, you'll find some things about him. He's a survivor, and him being a survivor is, you can see it in what he's doing and what you're doing with Little Crop Circles. You can see that. You can see that you're driven. I mean, I remember, the thing that sticks with me more than anything is when you were going through your closet, thinking of things to sell, and you said, how many pairs of black pants, can a girl have? I watched a huge shift as you got rid of things and all for a cause. All for a cause, even if it's just to stay on the same lane to be able to pay a bill. We've had causes for everything that we've done. From me losing the house, which was something I needed to do, to let go. Mm-hmm. Losing the bakery, 3 years. Having a bakery and putting everything in it, everything but one thing. One thing was missing, and I'm going to be honest, and it was the drive to keep it going. It was a necessity to keep it going because it was at the time taking care of my family, so I was willing to do whatever it took. But it wasn't the drive like I have for these projects that we're working on now, things that I see. We haven't given up on the things we do, the pitches and looking out for things. We'll never, throw that, and that's a part of my life. To have our own show is the thing that I know will happen because we are driven, because we are determined, and we've proven that still on this same road after 7 years.
And there are lots of reasons why we stay driven, and this is one of them.
I know. Hi, baby.
She's bothering me, so I had to pick her up, and I don't even know if she realizes she's on camera. Probably not.
Probably not. She might know.
What's going on, but she's like.
She starts kissing the screen.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's been, this isn't something that is for the faint of heart. Doing your own thing, and that's what I should have, put for the promo. Doing your own thing. It's not for the faint of heart, because if you don't want to work in a 9 to 5 and you want your own job, you want your own business, you want your own, you want your own passion to get out into the world to do good with, you've got to be able to work hard at it. You've got to cry, sweat it, bleed it, eat it when there's nothing else to eat but the thought of it, And I think I know that's what keeps this going. I know that. I know that's what keeps this show going. I know that's what's kept Little Crop Circles going, all what you do. The constant drive that I do to get a show out there one way or the other, the things we've done, the flops, the good things, the disappointments, all that is, if we didn't want it bad enough, we wouldn't do it. I'd go work at Burger King.
And some days you feel like it's far too much trouble, that you would rather just go work at Burger King for the rest of your life. But sleep on it. That's my advice.
Definitely. That's beautiful.
You may get something out of left field that's going to throw you, and you'll be so upset, and just sleep on it. Right?
I think I'm going to do a shirt for that and quote that one for you. # sleep on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, and then you have to summon the courage to say, okay, now what? Now what? Okay, so this kind of negative thing has come up in my path, but it doesn't mean that I'm on the wrong path.
No, it does not.
You need to find a new avenue.
Or you may need to take a harder shift. Sometimes that path is blocked by something, and you just, sometimes we're scared to make that one little shift,
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the big black, boogeyman.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Big black boogeyman. He could be red.
Oh, you're going to get it for that. You're going to get it. I'm going to get it. She let her co-hostess turn right over there and say, big black boogeyman, and she didn't do anything. I know. whatever, people, anybody that catches that and wants to, shift to the negativity, we're not doing that. But I do like how you said that, because sometimes those obstacles seem like, big black holes. They just seem like it's a never-ending pit. And you cross over one pothole and you think, oh, yeah, we got it. And then, there's a detour. Mm-hmm. There's a detour. But when you're trying to have your own, that's one of the pitfalls of trying to be your own business, trying to, like I said, trying to put your passion out into the world. It's not easy, because people laugh at you. People see that after 2, 3, 4, 7 years in a book, and, and they're still not, I still don't turn on my TV and see them, and so when I hear people say, how's this going? What are you doing with this? Last I heard you were doing this. I just say this: I'm a work in progress, and I haven't hit that one road yet that is going to take me right to that destination, because there is that, eventually, if you stay on the road long enough and you drive hard enough, you're going to get to your destination.
Well, you never know. Our show, The Attitude Shift, may have brought us together, because we're going to be gardening gurus. We're going to be changing the way people grow food, because we start on May 11th, which is a Monday. We start with our co-host, our new co-host. She's a horticulturalist, so she'll actually...
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I'm doing this.
She's from Austin, Texas. Her name is Lisa Sellers Roberts, and she was a guest on our show. She's written a book called Aiden and Addie, and it's about back to basics and sort of back to your roots and back to the way most of us should be living our life, not out there on the streets rioting, and our values. And I talked about that recently in a letter that we put out from Miracle Pots, which is now rebranded to Little Crop Circles, and it's about the values of the people that run the companies that you're buying product from. And I'm one of those people from Little Crop Circles, and we have down-home values, we're family business, and try to remember that when you're making things happen, keep that attitude that you're not some big bully. I have a friend who runs a business, and twice this week she's been bullied by people that don't want to pay her. And I wish I could step in and be her for a day
and show how it's done,
and be ready to talk to these people. Like, one person doesn't want to pay her, and the excuse was that the job wasn't done well enough, and the people that are coming in to paint the house are going to have to wash the walls all over again, and so she'll have to pay the painters. And for me, I would have immediately said, oh, lady, you're getting scammed. That's really different. But
right.
You know that the lady, this is her thing, her shtick. She doesn't want to pay the bill, and her shtick is, I'm going to have to pay somebody else because you
didn't. That's right, because you didn't. Right, you didn't do your job right.
You need to turn the tables on people like that and say, oh, you're getting scammed. Those, people can
use those words.
People can paint over walls that are filthy,
dirty,
right? So, excuse me, and then she would have to back down, right? She would have to.
Oh, for sure.
Because then she doesn't want to be the person that is seen as being scammed, right? So, but that's all you have to do to somebody like that.
And sometimes that's all it is. It's the attitude.
I hope my friend's listening.
I hope so too.
You can put a lien on her house, and she'll never be able to sell it until she pays her bill.
That's right. And you can do that.
So you can do that. There's things that you need to know to realize that the boogeyman's not going to come and get you. The big corporations are not going to come and get you. The FBI is not going to knock at your door. If you don't pay your taxes this week, well, you get a 5-day extension in Canada because they made a mistake.
Yeah, but
right, in Canada they did, so that was.
But I like that though, because if you don't know, if you're afraid to ask, especially in business, especially in that, and especially when the big corporations, see something and they decide they want it because it's such a good idea, and they try to edge out the smaller company. You see that all the time. You hear that all the time. Sometimes it's just the name. You know, and they get worried and they get scared, and so they react. And a small business, you know, when I was in the bakery, I never worried about hostess coming along and saying, hey, we're going to, you know, we want to make your heart cookies or do anything like that. You know, I was small. I was, you know, brick and mortar small. You know, I paid as I went. And after a while, you know, the attitude really shifted from that because of that, because I saw, like I said earlier, because that passion really wasn't there. It was a need. It began to be where I was just sick of it, you know, really just wanting to get out of it, just wanting to just say, you know what, somebody else put a bakery, there's someone else. And there's a new bakery in town, and it's been open for a couple months. I don't really know how it's going. I've heard some things, but I'm not going to get in on that. But the thing is, it wasn't I like how you said that, my shtick. It wasn't my shtick. I had to find that out. It goes back to that self-awareness. I had to realize that for three years I was struggling to keep something going because it was a means to take care of my family.
Yeah, I think that when you're trying to make things happen, for us, for John and I, the one thing that we've come to realize is that we can't be scared.
Right.
We can't let fear rule our decisions. And when we realized that, we had something that happened recently, and we had to make any other people would have been shaking in their boots.
Oh yeah.
We thought it was great.
It was. Yeah.
We were prepared. That's the other thing. You've got to always have an exit strategy. They talk about that in investment. They talk about what's the exit strategy if I invest in your company and stuff like that.
Right.
Every company needs an exit strategy out of every project and every avenue that they take. You need to be prepared. Be a good Boy Scout and Girl Scout or whatever, Girl Guide. Be prepared. Have something in reserve that you can turn to.
Yeah,
and don't be afraid, but don't let people bully you. I mean, I'm watching a friend being bullied.
And you are, yeah, and that's right. And being able to walk away, that was the thing. When the last incident with, you know, the bakery having moved it to another city and everything, that was it. You know, the baking that I do at home for people and for friends and everything, that's because I want to. That's because people that I know like the way I did things, the quality of what I did. But do I make that something that, you know, is it what I'm basing income on today? No. And am I scared because I don't have that steady, you know, no matter what, that I don't have that steady 3-4 cakes or whatever a week? No. I love how you say the no fear. No. If you would have asked me that last year, I'd be scared to death. You know, look at the end of the month, you know, normally I'd be like pulling my hair out and everything, getting ready for the next month. But I've learned something, I've learned that fear, just like you said, fear is the biggest deterrent in anything you can do. Fear will just lock you up where you can't speak, move, make a decision. And so, you know, being in your own business, or like I said, trying to put your own passions and your own beliefs out to the world, you can't have any fear. That's for sure, because they're, you know, the bullies and the naysayers and the lizards, like you had the other day, the lizards, you know, all those people are there lying in wait. You know, they're lying in wait. They're going to get up in your tailpipe, your carburetor, whatever they can do, you know, to get you off that road on that long pit stop where your mind starts thinking at that pit stop, should I really be doing this? Just like you said, is this wrong because this happened? Maybe we shouldn't do this. You know, those long pit stops, they can really mess you up. They can make you doubt yourself. They can make you, you know, oh my gosh, I'm over here stuck, and now what? Maybe we shouldn't do this, you know?
Absolutely, and I think that fear can really get you doing crazy things. Like, for instance, a friend of mine is a cop, and she told me that in our neighborhood there's been 6 dogs kidnapped. Cute little dogs kidnapped. right? So there's a dog napping ring, and it may be the economy, I'm thinking, because they'd be able to turn around and sell them like I'm selling my dog, just like on the classified ads or whatever.
Right,
and
right.
As long as they're cute and little, and they're walking into people's backyards, because this is not a high crime area. There's gangs and stuff, and right, but they kind of keep the lid on big crime here. So
right.
But there's, obviously a group of people going around and taking little dogs from their homes. And
wow.
And I think that, and it hasn't been on the news, which is interesting to me. And I think that it's because they don't want people to be afraid and
that's right.
Move here and so on and so forth. Right?
Start shooting people.
Right. So the thing is though you need to know, you need to have the information, and you need to be prepared, right? So now we're more conscious about where she is, and then she's never off a leash, because we don't have a fenced and locked yard, right? And so we won't leave her out on her leash at the front yard while we're gardening or something like that. We will make sure we know where she is at all times. That's just being prepared.
Right.
Chances of this little one getting dog napped in our care is like, well, I'd be running down the street after the person too.
Right.
They better not take her, because I'll be going after them. I'll find them. I'll hunt them down. And but the thing is, we can't lock her inside the house and be afraid
all the time. Right.
We just have to be aware and
be
more
aware
than maybe we were 2 days ago before we got the information. So you got to get the information. You've got to know where you stand, and you'll have to know when somebody's playing you, like this lady who is playing my friend. Play her right back. Play her right back.
That's right. And know what you said something, do your research. When you hear something like that, like you said, with the dog napping, the first thing you do, you be aware of what's going on. The first thing is, now this is going on. Little dogs. That's a cute little dog right there. So you know that. So you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to be so afraid, just like what they were saying with the looting. You don't want to be so afraid that you don't go outside to let someone take your power like that from you. To let someone leave you, on the side of the road like that, too scared to pull back out in the lane. We can't do that. You can't give our power away like that, because when we do, it makes them stronger, and they know where you're weak at, and to grip you in fear is sometimes the things that hold people back with great ideas, because they're so afraid. What if I fail? What if nobody likes it? When my daughters came to me and started telling me about the T-shirts, they're like, well, you can help us because you think about a lot of things, and you're visual, and you can do this and you can do that. And then I thought, well, what, this is a pretty cool idea. And the test things that they've been doing with them have been great, But now they're at a place where they have to decide which shirts to print, because there's no way to print all of them. It'd be very expensive. It's which shirts to print. And like they said, are they sure the ones that they pick are going to be the right ones that sell? But they're not afraid. They're going to move forward, making the decisions that they felt are right based on the popularity of the comments they got on certain shirts. They're going to move forward with the two that they want to come out with first and take it from there. I mean, I could see somebody taking a long time to make this decision, scared, but they decided they're firm, and those two shirts, will be the first two printed out and start going out next week.
So let's plug them. What's their Facebook page? And
it's These Tees Company. These Tees Co.
These Tees Co. on Facebook. Check it out. And also, we want to thank our sponsor, closely aligned to us, Little Crop Circles, littlecropcircles.com. Please come and join our Facebook page, Little Crop Circles, or Twitter, Little Crop Circle without the E. I still don't understand why.
I know. I meant to ask you that.
Full name.
Can I ask you that? Yeah, I want to ask you that. What happened? That's all I want to know. What happened?
it's like a certain number of characters. That's all they'll allow you for a
That
username.
is so crazy.
Well, and I was gonna go LIL.
No, because that
Yeah.
didn't change it.
Little
Yeah, you could figure it out. Little
So
crop
be sure to come and check littlecropcircles.com, and we've got some new stuff coming up. There's a whole new website being designed that should be out within the next few weeks, I think.
And check us out on our gardening show. We can't forget that. We can't
Yes, we're gonna
forget.
have our domain we have a domain, thegardeningnetwork.com. We have a website that I haven't had a chance to finish, so it isn't up yet. But by the time you guys probably watch this show, it'll be up. So what is this? April. So by May 11th, for sure, the domain will be up. The website will be up, thegardeningnetwork.com, and your hosts, Donna M. Butler, Siobhan Shaw, and Lisa Sellers. Robert's the actual expert on gardening. Will answer questions on gardening, and so we'll start digging about and learning. Right, Donna?
Oh, yes. Yeah. But it's fun. It is, like I said, and I know this is what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. Because I'm learning some things.
Holly says it's time for her sleep, so we have to go.
Holly, go put your mommy to sleep. Oh, well, to everyone that listen tonight, tune in tonight. If you're afraid, remember that's just a detour. That's another thing to hold you back. Don't be scared. Get in your lane. Get back into the lane. Get out of that pit stop. Get back in the lane. And if you have an idea, you know what? Get it out there. Get it out there. Do your thing. Do you. Do you. And don't worry about the lizards. Until we meet again, I don't know what we're going to do next week, but you can find out what we're doing by going to theattitudeshift.com. If you want to learn more about taking care of that greenery and everything, Little Crop Circles. And get ready to see us on the Gardening Network. And if you want to wear a tee to show what you really want to say, go to These Tees Company. In the meantime,
yes. Cool. No, you know what I want to say? Please support the young entrepreneurs, the young up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Donna's daughter, Lily and Ariel, they are These Tees Company, and just show the young entrepreneurs some support. Show them that small business is worth it. Show them that it's not all about multinational corporations controlling the world, that we can make a difference. One little company, one little t-shirt, one little garden container, one little show at a time.
That's awesome. That's the way we're going out till we meet again. Peace out.
Say bye.